Join Kids Hut family.
Tia, you recite so many stories to me that are full of morals, but you have never recited your favorite story to me. Which one is it?
Tofu, that's true. I haven't yet recited my favorite story to you. Would you want to listen to one of my favorite stories?
Yeah.
Jack and the Beanstalk. Once upon a time, there lived a widow with her only son, named Jack. Their times were really hard, and they were living in poverty for long. Jack was too young to work and earn money. All their house furniture and other belongings were sold off to carry on with their basic daily needs. Until at last they were left with a cow, who used to give milk every day, and that they used to sell off in the market to buy bread. One day, the poor old cow didn't give any milk. That's when Jack suggested his mother,
I think we should sell off this cow and get a good return in bargain.
So Jack left to sell off the cow in the market. On the way, he met a butcher.
Oh, where are you going, Jack?
I'm going to the market to sell off this cow for a good bargain.
Oh, why take the trouble to go that far? I have a very good deal for you.
He took out 5 strange-looking beans from his pocket and handed them to Jack. Jack looked little hazed as to what kind of good bargain it is.
Oh my God! They are so beautiful. What do you call these?
Beans, magical beans. If you plant them overnight, by the next morning, they will grow up and reach the sky.
Wow! Mother would be so happy to see them. Thank you, Mr. Butcher.
And off went Jack happily to his mother and showed her the magical beans. But to his disappointment, she only got angry at him and shouted,
Off you go to bed right away.
She threw the beans outside the kitchen window and into the backyard and went off to her bed, crying and weeping. The next morning, when Jack woke up, he saw outside his window, and to his surprise, he saw a great beanstalk reaching up to the sky.
Oh my God! This beanstalk is so huge! I need to climb this up to see where it leads to.
He climbed up and up and up till his home looked a mere spot on the ground. At last, the stalk ended and Jack found himself in a completely different place. But suddenly, a beautiful lady appeared and said,
Hello, Jack. You don't know me, but I know you and everything about you. The castle you see there belongs to a giant who stole all your father's money and killed him. Your mother had kept this secret from you to protect you. He owes you, Jack.
The lady disappeared in thin air. Jack kept standing there and thinking,
He surely owes me and my family.
Far away, where the road ended, he could see a huge castle. He went up to the castle and knocked on the huge door. A giant woman opened the door. She looked scary and howled at Jack. What do you want?
If you please, ma'am, would you kindly give me some breakfast? I haven't eaten anything since yesterday.
The giant woman, though looked cruel and ugly, had a kind heart and offered Jack a huge plate of English breakfast, but warned him, "You must finish quickly before my giant husband comes back and eats you." Then suddenly there was a huge knock on the door, and the wife picked up Jack and hid him in a huge empty kettle. As the door opened, the giant entered and roared,
Fee, fee, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread.
"Nonsense! You're mistaken. It's the ox hide you smell." So he sat down at the table and ate the ox that his wife had served him as breakfast. After he finished, he asked his wife,
Get me my money bags.
He started counting his money, but he was so sleepy that he slept on the table. The whole room was roaring with his snore. Jack, taking an opportunity of this time, got out of the kettle, picked up the money bags, and ran towards the door. Before the giant woke up, he climbed down the beanstalk and to his cottage, and did not look back even once. He took a sigh of relief and ran to his mother.
Mother, look what I got. We are rich now.
The mother and the son lived quite comfortably. Till one afternoon, when his mother was away, he decided to go up to the giant's castle and see what was happening there. So he climbed up the beanstalk and reached the castle. There, standing at the door, he saw the giant's wife again. But she didn't recognize him because he was dressed impeccably this time.
If you please, ma'am,
He said,
will you give me some breakfast?
"Run away, you little boy! Last time a boy came, he stole my husband's money bags." But since she was kind-hearted, she offered Jack breakfast. At that very moment, the giant knocked on the door, and quickly she hid Jack in the oven. The giant entered and roared,
Fee, fee, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread.
But the giant's wife once again assured him that he is mistaken and offered him his huge breakfast to eat. After eating his food, he asked his wife,
Get me my golden hen.
The wife got the hen, and the giant roared in his voice,
Lay!
That very moment, the hen laid a golden egg, and Jack was left amazed with what he saw. No sooner he saw the giant slipping into his deep sleep, and once again he came out of the oven, picked up the hen, and ran for the door. In the meanwhile, the hen began to cackle. The voice made the giant move a little, but he kept sleeping. Jack climbed down the stalk and went straight to his mother and gave her the golden hen. The mother and the boy were so rich that they had money greater than even what they could spend. One day, he was sitting idle. The thought of the beanstalk crossed his mind again, and he decided to climb it. No sooner he was at the castle, but this time he decided not to be seen and climbed the kitchen wall of the castle and hid himself in the oven. In came the giant, roaring louder than ever.
Fee, fee, fo, fum! I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread.
But the giantess was quite sure that she had seen no little boy that morning, and after grumbling a great deal, the giant sat down for breakfast. As soon as he got over with his breakfast, he called out to his wife,
Bring me my harp! Sing!
ordered the giant. Soon the harp started singing the most beautiful sounds ever heard, and no sooner the giant fell off into his deep sleep. Jack, who was waiting for this moment, got out of the oven and climbed the table to grab the harp. But as soon as he started running off with it, the harp started shouting,
Master! Master!
The giant woke up just in time to catch the sight of Jack running out of the kitchen door. With a fearful roar, he saw Jack running with the harp and dashed after him. Little Jack ran as fast as he could, while holding the harp tightly in his hands. The giant, taking terribly long strides, gained on Jack, and he would have been caught if Giant had not slipped over a boulder. Before he could pick himself up, Jack began to climb down the beanstalk, and when the giant arrived at the edge, he was nearly halfway to the cottage. The giant began to climb down too, but as soon as Jack saw him coming, he called out,
Mother, bring an axe!
The widow hurried out with the chopper. Jack had no sooner reached the ground than he cut the beanstalk right in two. Down came the giant with a terrible crash, and that, you may be sure, was the end of him. But the mother had a very important advice for Jack.
Jack, what the giant did to your father was bad, but you should not have been so greedy. He reaped what he sowed, but greed is also a bad deed.
Jack agreed to his mother and promised to never be greedy again, and they lived happily ever after.
Wow, Tia, that was such an adventurous story.
Yeah, Tofu, and do you know why it was my favorite story?
No, tell me.
The story was about a brave boy who wanted to fight against poverty, and in a way, he got a chance to take revenge of his father too. But in the process, he forgot that harming the giant again and again was not ethical, and stealing from the giant's house was also against his morals.
Oh, that's quite a heavy thought for my little brain.
Ha ha ha! Let's go. We are late for dinner. Mom must be waiting.
Look, that's a wolf out there. He looks so big and cunning.
Yeah, Tofu. Wolves are known to be clever and cunning. My childhood memories with wolves are quite interesting, especially the story of The Wolf and the 7 Little Goats.
The wolf and the 7 little goats? Wow, I haven't heard that one. Tell me the story, Tia.
The Wolf and the 7 Little Goats. Once upon a time, there lived a mama goat and her 7 little kids. Theirs was a happy little home. All the 7 little kids used to play in the meadows. into the wild with the butterflies and birds singing along. Their days used to go in complete harmony and bliss. Until one day, a big black wolf noticed these little kids playing in the meadow.
Ha ha ha! Such an easy treat they are for me. I haven't eaten since ages. I'm sure these would make delicious lamb chops for my dinner tonight.
He waited for the moment when the mother goat would leave her kids alone, patiently hiding in the bushes. Children, I'm going to the market to buy bread and cookies for you. I'll be back by evening. Just make sure you remain conscious of this big bad wolf.
But Mommy, how would we know if it's not you?
The wretched wolf can easily be recognized with his hoarse voice and black feet. Don't open the door, or else you little ones would get into danger.
Don't worry, Mommy. We would take care of ourselves.
The mother goat went off to the market and the kids made doubly sure with the locks on the door. After making sure that they are safe in their little home, off they went to play when suddenly there was a knock on the door.
Hello, my children. Open the door. Your mother is back.
Hearing the voice, the youngest one scampered to the door.
Mommy, she's back.
In no time, the eldest one ran to catch his little sibling.
No, it's not our Mommy. She hasn't got such a rough voice.
And then, looking at the door, the eldest kid shouted back saying,
Go away, you big bad wolf. Our mother doesn't have such a hoarse voice.
Hearing this, the wolf got annoyed and ran to get a box of chalk, as he had heard that this would make his voice as soft as that of a baby. But kids, you shouldn't do this at any cost, as this would only make your tummy ache badly. So off he went and gulped off the whole box of chalk. Knocking on the door again, he said,
Hello, kids. Your mother is back. Look what I have got for you. Cookies, breads, and ginger ale.
Oh, that sounds like our mother. Should we open the door now? But look down there. Our mother has not got black feet. This is surely the wolf. Go away, you big bad wolf. Our mother has not got black feet, but beautiful white feet.
Hearing this, the wolf ran to the miller and jumped into the mountain of white dough. He was all white from head to toe. Running back to the house, he knocked again and said,
Kids, your mother is back. Open the door.
That sounds like our mother, and also the feet are white. We should open the door now.
Not knowing what danger awaits them, all the kids ran to the door and opened it. But just to see who was standing there, the big bad wolf gave a loud laugh and brushed off his white powder.
Hello, kids. Are you ready to become my feast tonight?
The kids ran here and there to save their lives. One went inside the kettle, the other in the oven. One looked for a place under the bed, and the other tried saving itself by hiding in the pot. The youngest one was so tiny that he managed to hide himself inside the clock case. The wolf, having no mercy, started taking them out from their hidings. One by one, He rolled them in a ball and gulped them up.
Ah, there goes the first one. Oh, the second one is under the bed. Here you go.
In no time, he ate all the kids except for the youngest one who was hiding in the clock case. With his tummy full, he burped and left the home. When the mother returned, she was shocked to see the door open and waited for the biggest nightmare that might have come true. The house was all upside down. The crockery was broken. The curtains were torn. The chair was broken, and the kids were nowhere to be found. She cried for them.
Children, oh children, where are you?
At that very moment, the youngest one came out of the clock case and hugged his mother, crying and howling.
Oh, Mother, the bad wolf disguised us by sounding and looking like you. He ate up all my brothers and sisters. What will we do now?
Don't worry. Let's go and look for him.
They went out searching for the wolf. His tummy was so filled that he slept off in a meadow near the house itself. His snores was so loud that even the branches of the tree were shuddering. The mother goat very quietly went near him and asked her youngest kid to get scissors, thread, and a needle. Off he went to get them. The mother goat very quietly slit open his tummy and took out all her kids from his tummy. They then filled up his tummy with stones as big as balls, and then she stitched the tummy with the thread and the needle. The wolf had such a huge feast after so long, and he slept all night. In the morning when he got up, he was so thirsty that he tried running to the well, but his belly was so heavy that he could hardly walk. He picked up his belly and managed to reach the well. But the moment he bent down to drink water, he couldn't handle the weight and fell in the well. The kids were looking at all of this from their window and shouted happily,
Mommy, Mommy, the wolf has died. Now we can play freely outside without any fear. And they lived happily ever after.
Now that was one cunning wolf. But Tofu, if you be bad to others, bad happens to you too. Always remember that. Yeah, Tia.
Tofu, what in the world are you trying to do?
I am trying to pluck those juicy fruits from this tree.
But do you think you will be able to pluck them? They are so high.
Oh, I wish I could fly and pluck those fruits. I so wish I had wings.
To wish is not bad, but one should be conscious about the consequences. Come, I'll tell you a story. The Tortoise and the Eagle. A young tortoise was lazing around the riverbank, looking at the birds flying in the sky. He stared at them and started thinking out aloud.
I wish I could fly like those birds, up high in the sky and watch the beautiful sceneries and beauty of the world from top of the world. Oh, I so wish that.
Nearby, an eagle was sitting on a stone, listening to what the tortoise was thinking out loud, and couldn't resist but ask,
Why do you want to fly? You should be happy with what you are gifted with.
I wish I could fly with no trouble of crawling on the ground.
So say that you want to fly because you don't want to crawl, not because you wish to see the world from the sky. Anyway, what will I get in return for making you fly in the sky?
I'll give you the riches of gold from the Red Sea.
So the eagle grabbed the tortoise in its claws and soared up high in the sky, making him see all the beautiful sceneries of the world. Flying higher in the clouds and closer to the stars. It was indeed a mesmerizing moment for the tortoise. While the eagle was flying over the riverbank, the rest of the tortoise were basking in the sun. Suddenly, the tortoise flying high up in the sky said,
I wish my friends could watch me flying so high in the sky. I am sure they would get jealous watching me.
What? Why would you want your friends to get jealous of you?
I want them to see that I can fly and they cannot. It's such a nice feeling.
What an evil friend this tortoise is, thought the eagle. With this, the eagle dropped him on the ground and asked for his treasure.
Now give me my reward.
There is no reward. I was just kidding about the gold so that you could take me for a ride.
And with this, the tortoise left. The eagle couldn't tolerate his insult and decided to teach him a lesson. So the next day, the eagle went to the tortoise and said,
Hey, would you like to go for a sky ride again?
Yes, sure. I would love to.
The eagle once again picked him up and clenched him in his claws. The tortoise, while enjoying the ride, said to the eagle,
Why did you bring me again for the ride, even though I dishonored my promise of rewarding you?
That's because, tortoise, you wish to make your friends jealous, but at my cost. And now I'll let you enjoy the free fall.
The eagle let his claws loose and the tortoise went falling down. Screaming for help and flying no longer, he crashed on the ground with a thud. Thanks to his shell, he didn't get injured. Soon, his old friends surrounded him and said,
Hey, young friend, you wanted to see the world from high up in the sky. To dream big is not a sin, but to dream it at the cost of others is just not justifiable.
I have learnt my lesson now. I should be thankful to God for what I am blessed with. It was my shell only that saved my life. I should be happy with what I have, and also should not use others for my selfish reasons. I surely have learnt my lesson. Tia, now I know what you were trying to say. I learnt a lesson too. One should think about the consequences before one wishes for something. I should be happy with what I am blessed with I should rather look for an alternative to pluck those fruits. Wait! I'll get a ladder!
Tofu, you learn things quite fast.
For your favorite rhymes, stories, and more, join Kids Hut family. Subscribe here.